Bonsoir à tous. Good evening, everyone. Thank you to be with us for this event organized by the Diplomatic Service of the European Union in collaboration with the Italian Cultural Institute and in partnership with the Courrier des Balkans. I am the president of the Courrier des Balkans, and so tonight we will launch the social media campaign Europe Makes a Difference for this event. The campaign organized by the Diplomatic Service of the European Union. We have in collaboration with protagonists of this campaign with us Institute, so we will discover them. And but first, I will ask Diego Marani to say a few words of introduction. Diego Marani is the director of the Italian Cultural Institute. So thank you to Europe Makes to be with us. And campaign organized by the Diplomatic Service of I just want to have in collaboration say that protagonists. There will be some words in French for introduction, but the debate will be in English. So I will non-French speaker Diego Marani and say a few words. The debate will continue. Marani is the director of the Italian Cultural Institute. So thank you. Europe Makes to be Diego Marani and campaign organized by just this event. I just want to have in collaboration say that protagonists. There will be some words in French for introduction, but the debate will be in English. So I will non-French speaker Diego Marani and say a few words. The debate will continue. Marani is the director of the Italian Cultural Institute. So thank you. Europe Makes to be Diego Marani and campaign organized by just this event. I just want to have in collaboration say that protagonists. There will be some words in French for introduction, but the debate will be in English. So I will non-French speaker Diego Marani and say a few words. The debate will continue. Marani is the director of the Italian Cultural Institute. So thank you. Europe Makes to be Diego Marani and campaign organized by just this event. I just want to have in collaboration say that protagonists. There will be some words in French for introduction, but the debate will be in English. So I will non-French speaker Diego Marani and say a few words. The debate will continue. Marani is the director of the Italian Cultural Institute. So thank you. Europe Makes to be Diego Marani and campaign organized by just this event. I just want to have in collaboration say that protagonists. There will be some words in French for introduction, but the debate will be in English. So I will non-French speaker Diego Marani and say a few words. The debate will continue. Marani is the director of the Italian Cultural Institute. So thank you. Europe Makes to be Diego Marani and campaign organized by just this event. I just want to have in collaboration say that protagonists. There will be some words in French for introduction, but the debate will be in English. So I will non-French speaker Diego Marani and say a words. The debate will continue. Marani is the director of the Italian Cultural Institute. Thank you. Europe Makes to be Diego Marani and campaign organized by just this event. I just want to have collaboration say that protagonists. There will be some words in French for introduction, but the debate will be in English. So I will non-French speaker Diego Marani and say a words. The debate will continue. Marani is the director of the Italian Cultural Institute. Thank you. Europe Makes to be Diego Marani and campaign organized by just this event. I just want to have collaboration say that protagonists. There will be some words in French for introduction, but the debate will be in English. So I will non-French speaker Diego Marani and say a words. The debate will continue. Marani is the director of the Italian Cultural Institute. Thank you. Europe Makes to be Diego Marani and campaign organized by just this event. I just want to have collaboration say that protagonists. There will be some words in French for introduction, Thank you. So maybe I know to here because we now discover 6 young people, extraordinary young people. Actually, I'm very impressed of their works and their commitment in the Balkans. So really, it will be a great night. I look forward to discuss with them. Thank you. So now we will first discover them and discover this video, the so first we will have two first videos. So they are coming from all over Balkans. Unfortunately, there would be 6 videos, but unfortunately 2 of them are not with us. They had a professional obligation, but they are coming from Skopje, they are coming from Belgrade, from Tirana, from Sarajevo, and they are with us, and they will discuss with us tonight. So first, we will introduce the 2 first videos. There will be the video of Maria. Maria is not with us, but she's from Cetinje, from Montenegro, and the video of Nevena from Belgrade.
Maria Vukovic.
That's the main purpose of everything, to enjoy and to love what you do. I'm Maria Vukovic, high jumper from Montenegro. I was born in Croatia, in Knin, and after a war, 95, we came in Montenegro. At the beginning it was just playing basketball, football, and then one day professor said, let's try high jump, and it was like love at first jump. That feeling over the bar and landing, it was beautiful. I was second at European Junior in Novi Sad, 2009, and 1 year after I won World Junior Championship, first medal for Montenegro. So it took some time to realize what I did. My family was always with me. My sister, she believed in me more than I did in some period of my life. It's really hard to prepare mentally. It's hard to stay focused. It's hard to believe and trust. When I'm about to jump, I really try to find the moment of joy.
1.96! Idemo, Marija!
In Tokyo, I was really proud. I was like, that's it, that's what I'm capable of. It gave me wings. I really feel like a woman of Europe or a woman of the world because we all fight with the same insecurities, problems in sport or in general in life, so it's easier to fight together for it. Sports connect us all. Medals are important, but people is what really counts.
Mislim da je ono čime mladi ljudi iz Srbije i regiona najviše mogu da doprinesu njihova preduzimljivost, kreativnost, brzina, motivisanost. Moje ime je Nevena Ivanović, ja sam modni dizajner, kostimograf, art direktor i preduzetnik iz Beograda. Moja prva revija bila sa 13 godina još u osnovnoj školi. Neo je nastao 2014. godine. Inspiraciju najčešće uzimam iz svoje kulture pre svega i iz kulture i tradicije nekih drugih dalekih naroda i koristim u svrhu modernog dizajna. Na taj način prenosim tu filozofiju da ne moramo odbaciti tradiciju kako bismo bili moderni. Tim sa kojim trenutno radim posmatram kao svoju drugu porodicu i pokušavamo da zajedno održimo te neke vrednosti gde je najvažnije biti iskren, pošten i poštovati druge. Pričam i o inkluzivitetu. Bila sam deo tima koji je kreirao prvi odevni komad namenjen ljudima sa invaliditetom i tada smo uspeli da napravimo nešto što niko pre nas nije. Jedan od najvažnijih projekata u kojima sam učestvovala bilo je projekat koji smo radili u Maastrichtu. Cilj projekta bio je da okupi 10 evropskih dizajnera iz zemalja članica Evropske unije i oni koje to nisu i da im postavi pitanje evropskog identiteta. Bilo mi je veoma značajno to što sam shvatila da svi imamo neke slične snove, želje, potrebe. Volela bih da mogu da okupim sve sjajne ljude koji se bave kreativnim radom, zato što mislim da mogu da ponude toliko divnih rešenja i toliko lepote svetu oko nas.
Wow. So please, I'm going to ask you, Nevena, to join me on stage, please. So, Nevena, congratulations. But I've got just a first question to you, and we will discuss later. But the first question, we saw your work, and it's incredible. But it seems that it's something important in your works is linked with identity, the question of identity, of being. So please explain me what is important for you in this idea of identity.
Is it good? Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Yeah, actually, you're right. And my whole story is about identity. I discovered that through time. I didn't know it at the beginning, but since I started following my inspiration, I went to different cultures, to different parts of the world. And I realized that maybe if I follow my inner instinct, my inspiration, maybe I'll find out what my DNA is about and where I'm from, actually. So right now, in my research, I've been through too many countries. So I realized that I'm actually from probably everywhere. And that sense of belonging to somewhere is something that drives my work. And now I really want to communicate that it doesn't matter if I'm from Belgrade or Europe. That's just the place where I've been born. But my whole story actually began too many years ago. I think maybe 100 of years ago. I'm planning to do the DNA test in the next few years, or when I feel that I'm done with the whole journey, and then I'll compare it to what I did till now. And I believe it would be very exciting to open that envelope and to see what's inside.
That's why you are making this mixed with Chinese, with a different part of the world. All the culture in your work are.
Yeah, absolutely. There is Japan, some African countries, Albania, Slovenia, Montenegro, Bosnia. I've been also to Ottoman Empire. I mean, Turks, but back then, you know, and I don't know. I think I can see a picture and to visualize my DNA following through the world, and that's something I'm really happy to see. Is it what's the real DNA or not?
And we will continue the discussion later. Thank you very much. Yeah. So we are going to continue to discover all these young people. The second video we will discover, we will have also two videos. One from Arbor. Arbor is not with us tonight, but we will present his work, and then we will have the video of Benjamin. So he's with us, and we will have also a discussion. So I'll let you discover the video.
I do believe in freedom. I do believe on the freedom of movement, freedom of coexistence, freedom to create without being harmful towards each other and without having any prejudice. I'm Arbor Selmani. I'm a human rights activist, a writer and a journalist from Kosovo. In 2014, I wrote a story about the LGBT community in Kosovo, and the newspaper where I was working, they put it on the front page. And you have no idea the impact it had. People all over the place talked about the story because it was not a story about victimizing the LGBT community. It was a story about empowering them. And it helped a lot. After 2 or 3 years, we started the first Pride and the first marches of the LGBT community in Kosovo. I remember that ever since I was a child, I wouldn't just agree with a lot of things happening in this society. From 18 years old and on, I've been working as a journalist. I think I've always been a different journalist because I've always been writing about things that were not on the mainstream media.
Përshëndetje dëgjues të Paper Radio, mirë se vini në një emision tjetër ku do të trajtojmë artin, kulturën edhe çështjet sociale. Qëndroni me ne.
Different communities in Kosovo really need to have their voice heard. And I think that it's up to us, writers, artists, journalists, to kind of let them be seen and be integrated within this society. I believe on the power of the written word. You can change someone's life. You can really make a stand. You can have a cause. You can fight for something with just a book of poems. I want people to have more compassion after they read my poems. As provocative as they can be, I still think that my poems are empowering, and these poems can really be used for something good.
I talk a lot about peace. I talk about love and reconciliation. With our art, we want to bring people closer together. My name is Changic. I'm a street artist and a film producer. I was born in 1993 here in Sarajevo. I started painting graffiti at the age of 13, and somehow it marked my life. In 2016, around age of 22, I felt some kind of urge to create something larger. I organized an association, Obojena Klapa. Street art has a big power of communicating with the widest possible audience. Everybody is able to look at it, to think about it, to think about what artists actually wanted to say. When we do workshops, we bring the participants outside. You give them certain tasks. They share the same problems. They share the same goal. And nothing else exists. They are there to create together. And when they work together, it's an amazing thing. Sada Festival is a unique street art festival which uses air purifying paint to create murals around Sarajevo. 1 square meter of this paint purifies the air as much as one grown-up tree. We are trying to raise awareness of the way we treat nature. Gallery Manifesto is a hybrid space created for exhibiting and selling art, as well as educating young artists. They can get a chance to sell their work. We want to bring artists from all around Europe and all around the world to Sarajevo. But in the same time, we want to present the work of our artists. So we create this platform which can be a channel of exchange between Bosnia and Herzegovina and the rest of the world.
Oh, so please, Benjamin, join me on stage. And bravo, bravo.
Bravo for the people who made the video. The video is really amazing. All of the videos are amazing. So congratulations to the task force and to the authors.
So in your artist, please say, you say that art could bring people all together, and you are from Sarajevo. Is it important for you? Does it mean something being from Sarajevo and being an artist? I was in Sarajevo. I think that everybody could be artists in Sarajevo. I mean, but is it important for you being from Sarajevo? And you talked about Bosnia-Herzegovina and the way it could be a place to bring people together. So, please.
Well, I believe, first of all, art is an international language. Everybody can and should understand art. So I believe that just by this, it's able to bring people together. And what I was meaning when saying that we also use art as a tool of really bringing people together. We take people from different ethnicities and different nationalities in Bosnia and Herzegovina, which are still kind of arguing and not really liking each other. So we take all of them together, we bring them to one place, we give them paint, we give them brushes, we give them tools, and we give them an opportunity to create together. And you can see these people, no matter the age, no matter the gender, no matter anything, they just met each other. And then they start creating one artwork together. At the end of the day, all of them, they're best friends. And this is really the way of them sharing their thoughts, their ideas, and the way to approach this piece, this artwork. It really brings them together. It really, makes it all like one compound, one unique big thing. And to be from Sarajevo and to be creating, I believe Sarajevo, well, in the 80s, it really was kind of a cultural center of Yugoslavia, as they say. I don't remember it. And then this tragic thing happens, but Sarajevo continues creating, and people from Sarajevo continue creating art, and they continue kind of fighting with the problems around them by just creating and making art. And for me, Sarajevo is really exceptional, and it's kind of inspirational because not many people do create art. Not many people are artists, but everything there is kind of an art for me. And it's just many things really come close to you because it's a small city, and then you can have an inspiration everywhere. You can use, it's just important to listen, to observe, and to feel things. And Sarajevo really offers this on the palm of a hand.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So we are still impressed, but we are continuing our journey, and we are continuing to discover this. Sorry, my paper. So the next video we will now look at is the video of Artis. So Artis is with us, but let's see first the video.
Through my films, I hope to remind people that everybody has power. You have the power to change your life and the world around you for better. My name is Artis Ferroni, and I'm an online content creator and film director from Albania. When I was 25 years old, I won an international Emmy Award, which was an absolutely surreal experience because I was filming this with my brother helping me with the gimbal, edited in my room. And I think it's a very important message for everyone that you can tell a good story anywhere and everywhere. Hello, guys. I am teaching now aspiring content creators all over Europe and the world, basically trying to make their process easier and also hopefully making them fall in love with storytelling, just like I did. Ever since I started filmmaking, I realized that I was trying to give value and inspire people. And to do that, I have to look inward and see what inspires me. Obviously, the protection of the environment, peace, and unity around the world. I'm proud to be Albanian, but I also always felt as a global citizen. I've lived in many countries, in Slovenia, in Germany, and what I found is that through storytelling, I could break borders and I could access anyone. This is gorgeous! Albania hasn't had the kindest history, but it has made us much more resilient and creative, which is why I think we can contribute so much more to Europe and make a lot more dreams come true for young people throughout Albania.
Please raise Artis. So bravo also, and you say storytelling can break borders. That is your word. Storytelling can break borders, and you think about protecting the environment. Do you think that storytelling can have an impact on people? Please.
Yeah. Bonjour. Hello, everyone. Yeah, I believe storytelling is definitely one of the most powerful tools to impact the world. The world is shaped by the stories we tell to each other, to our family members, to the world. And I definitely feel like everyone is a storyteller. And if we all use that more actively, be that with each other, be that through a little post, be that with our creative or professions, fields, doesn't matter. If we take a more active role and share our stories, we will see that we're more similar than we're different. And you can see that in our goals, in our fears, in everything. And of course, you can also, by talking about things that impact you locally or globally, you can impact even very important topics like the environment. And especially, I would say the youth is very crucial that we take a more active stand on this, because we can make an impact, and it is done if we all share these stories in a way or another. And it is a very important time in our world to change things, and the young people will be the generation that will really make the difference. So I hope that everyone realizes that we can do that through storytelling, no matter your profession.
I hope so too, and I think everybody hope too. But congratulations, really, congratulations! It's very rich what you are doing. Thank you very much. We will continue the discussion later. And we have a last video to discover. So we will now look at the video of Dina.
I want to tell stories like sisterhood that are sincere, because true stories always find their way. I'm Dina Duma, and I'm a writer-director from North Macedonia. I was born in Skopje in 1991, and I'm now in Paris writing my next feature film. I was invited here by Cannes Film Festival together with 5 other young filmmakers from all over the world, so we can make our stories better. My latest film, Sisterhood, will be the first Macedonian and first Balkan film shown on Netflix. This film was inspired by true events that happened in my school when I was 15. A boy and a girl had intercourse. Someone posted it online and it became viral. The boy was made a hero, and the girl, she was slut-shamed, and at the end she moved to another country. I think it's a really global problem happening in schools around the world. I know that this film will not change the world, but I really hope it will open a discussion about the impact that the social media has on the young generation, on how to use social media in a positive way.
Please, Dina, can you join me on the stage? So you were at the Cannes Festival film?
Yes, I was.
Please, just explain me, how was the experience?
Wow, it was really, really amazing. I mean, to be there and to have this opportunity to see these amazing films from all around the world, to meet many, many people from around the world. It was really, for me, it was really an important and I might say a life-changing experience. So it was amazing.
Great. So you already a star. So please, you are making film, but your thematic are very serious and very actually. I mean, cyberbullying, it's something very actual. And do you think, well, making film can change the mentality about this issue, about this question? Do you have feedback from movie or please?
Yes, so when I started making the film, I somehow thought that this was something very local, this social media bullying thing with the young generation. But then when the film was picked up from Netflix and when it started traveling on film festivals, I connected with the audience and I realized that this is really a global problem, because most of the audience were parents to teenagers or teenagers themselves who came to see the film and who could really relate to these problems. So yes, of course, this is really important for me. This feedback as a filmmaker, that you know, not only that it's something that is happening in my country, but it's also really a big issue.
What was the reaction of people looking at your movie, at your film?
Yes, I mean, so they could recognize some of their children because they have dealt with this kind of problem. They know about this problem, so they were really, in the end, they were really shocked in a way, and it opened a discussion, and also in my country, it opened a big discussion, which is really, I'm really happy about this, because before no one speaks about this problem and the problems of the young generation. Well, now I see that some changes are starting to happen.
Okay, thank you. So stay here, and maybe we can have maybe a discussion with all of you now. So really, I'm impressed by your maturity and by your ideas. Actually, you are each of you are bringing some values, some very values of peace, for example. And you know that well, we all know, unfortunately, that these days war came back in Europe, but you are bringing some peace in all your work. So can you explain us what does it mean to you to this experience of peace in your work, and how you can have well, how the people can react to your work and these ideas?
Are we
Please.
going to start with the ladies, or
we can have, it's a question to all of you, so you will react to this idea of peace, and
or I go myself? Well, I was born not in peace, you know, and when I was born, I believe it was very hard for my parents and for everybody in Bosnia and Herzegovina. And I remember just post-war era, and I remember it's not something you want to live in, you know. It's hard times, and maybe because of those moments, and maybe because of something that entered my character and my personality early in the beginning, I believe that this is the most important thing to fight for. And when saying peace, I don't only mean not having a war, but also inner peace, peace with the world around you, peace with nature, peace with God, or whatever you believe in. Peace is something that helps us. I cannot create without the peace. I cannot do anything without the peace. And I believe that this is the most important thing. When you are in peace with yourself, you can be in peace with everybody. And I can go on talking like this until the morning. I believe we don't have that much time. So peace is the most important thing, and maybe my fellow.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I would say, just to add a layer on that, I definitely agree. It starts within. I actually made a film that with the title "It Starts Within," which was about peace. But I think on another level, it's important, again, to take a bit more of an active stand on some issues, like what's going on, for example, with Ukraine. It cannot be unnoticed. And I feel what is very overwhelming for most of us is that the idea that I cannot do anything about this, so why even bother and talk about it? It feels like we can not be making a difference. And I again, ironically, with the title of our group, I think we definitely can make a difference no matter who you are, no matter where you are. It's so easy nowadays. The world has never been as accessible as now. And you can just take a phone, share a story, talk about it, your perspective matters. And so many people gather together by doing a little act like this, especially through tools like we have today with social media, which are like catalyzer of our human nature. Is important to push the right values and to stand up for peace. And even with simple things like this, I believe we can make a difference.
Yeah, so we all come from this region and we are really familiar with this situation that now Ukraine is going through. So I just hope, I mean, it will end soon. I know it must end soon, and then, I mean, they will be strong again. So this is all I have to say.
I think we all said those most important things, and I would like to underline what Benjamin said. The peace starts within us, and I started a whole, I would say, movement of people that is actually about peace. I call those people neo-warriors, people who believe and fight for good. They fight against things that they feel bad about. Now, I believe that every normal person feels bad about war anywhere in the world. Now it's happening in Europe. It's super close, but we don't see it because it's just across the border and just across another border. And in our everyday lives, we feel it just by increasing the prices in our countries that are not that well situated, and we feel it somehow, but still we don't see bombs. And as we all know how it looks when bombs are falling and when everything happens, I need people now to just feel that they have to stand against it and to say, to go out in a protest, to just say stop this, you know. And first, that's the thing that people from those regions that are endangered now, they have to stand up and say, we don't want to be on this side. It doesn't matter if people are from Russia or from Ukraine or from everywhere. They feel the war is bad. So you just make a stand. Actually, that's my motivation. Just make a stand and say, I don't want to do this. And I believe that one or another side is enjoying this war. It doesn't matter if the aggressor or the oppressor is talking about. So yeah, that's the thing. Everyone is suffering, and kids all over the world are suffering because of this. So that's why I believe in peace, actually.
Thank you, Nevena. Yeah. No, I'm very impressed with your determination and with your ideas. I mean, when we see your video, when we see your videos, we think that everything is possible because you make things possible for you and for everybody. Europe made a difference. One idea of the European ideal is the transborder, breaking borders. And you are breaking borders in many sense. You are traveling, you bring people together, but you are also breaking border of the soul of the ideas. You are making move in your society and for so well. I would like to hear you about this idea to break borders and something about the idea of European ideal of transborder cooperation. And please, I don't know if it talks to you, the idea of breaking borders.
Well, first, I would like to say that we are the ones making borders for ourselves in the first case. You know, so if we decide not to have any borders, we will have to have a passport with us, you know, when traveling, but we show it and we continue. But what's bigger problem is the borders that we really put upon ourselves. And as I am growing, I am realizing that all of these cliche sayings that people were saying to me as a kid actually make a sense. And when you said you can do everything you want, and that we seem like we can do everything, it really is like this. And every person in the world can say, this is not my border. Everybody can say, I don't have it. And everybody can just keep on working and creating and building and whatever, as much as they know, just about the right state of mind, and about pushing and pushing and pushing. And the more you push, the border goes further.
Thank you. Thank you.
I believe that ideas doesn't know borders. So that's why we are communicating well. We all hear from somewhere else, you know, and we all understand what we saw on the TV, on the and I really was thinking while I was watching the videos, we all said similar things. Like, we are all struggling and fighting for same things. We have similar problems. We have similar ideas, and that's what I see here. And that's why we are not a bit different from any other person in Europe or in the world. And when we take off all of the costume we wear, all of the masks, when the masks fall down, then we see people who actually want the same things. And that's why being idealist in a capitalistic world is very hard. And we all are that in the depth of our souls. So that's why ideas are crossing every border that a human can make.
Do you think Europe is important? I mean, what does it mean being European in your work and in your?
It can mean nothing and it can mean everything. It depends on how you look at it. If it makes borders for you, then it means. But if it makes a space for you to expand, to meet other people, to work with them, then it's very good. And I mean, everything in life is like that. It just depends on how you see it. And I don't see borders around myself.
Thank you.
That's a beginning.
Dina, yes?
Yes, same question.
The same question. I mean, breaking borders, but you are talking about cyberbullying on your, and actually the border is here in the mind. When you talk about this guy that became an hero and the girl that he's, well, it's a kind of tragedy, but it's also a kind of border.
Exactly, yes. So I come from the film world where everyone understands the moving pictures. Everyone can relate to the film. So for me, it's a bit easier to express myself and to get rid of these borders, because it doesn't matter which language my protagonist speak in. When people come to the cinema, they can understand. They can understand and they can relate to these problems. So the borders really don't exist.
Thank you.
I mean, there's not much I can add here, but I guess, again, it's important we understand what borders means to us individually and as a collective. And I think, to take a page out of the EU, what I like about it is the word union in it, right? So I think we have to really make that a part of our lives and focus on that instead of the borders. Because like my peers were saying, like it can be either of them. And it's on us to decide where are we going to focus. For us that we're standing here, there are no borders in our mind, which is why we've continued and shared that through our stories, through our work, but everybody can do that. And yeah, I think it's just an important distinction to make, and a choice each individually, which then will reflect collectively of which is it gonna be? Is it gonna be the borders, or is it gonna be the union aspect? And well, we all know the world needs more union than ever, so hopefully the choice will be the latter.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Maybe we can open the floor to the audience, because I think you saw this amazing video and all this work. You have a lot of questions, I can imagine. So please ask the question. Maybe there will be a microphone on. And
is it on? It is? Okay. Thank you, Dusan Gajic, a journalist. So to closer to the mic, is it okay? Okay. So to continue this discussion about the borders, obviously in the activities and through your creativity and talent, you are very good in crossing the borders. That doesn't seem to be a problem. But how disappointed you are or not that your countries, places that you come from, were not so good in overcoming borders, that they are not still part of the borderless EU, and how hopeful you are that that would happen. Is that something important to you? Thank you.
Well, I come from a country which has border on the outside and has border on the inside. It actually doesn't have the borders, but in the people's mind, we have three entities, three different people, three presidents, and it's all border, 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 border. Am I disappointed that things happened the way they happened in the past? I cannot say I'm disappointed. I'm sad in one hand. On the other hand, in my life, the things are the way they are now, and I'm pretty satisfied with my life. And if those things happen, I don't know, then maybe I would be disappointed, you understand? But what my point actually was in the beginning is that some things are not going to change, especially in our region. And for the people running our region and for people putting these borders, only thing they care about is their own and personal benefits. And by knowing this, I can not be, again, what's the word that you said, disappointed? I cannot be disappointed. I can only sit in my home and think of the ways to kind of make them go away and to fight against them. And if turning back to the past is taking too much time from the present times and from the future, and if being disappointed about the past, I cannot have enough time and enough energy to do things now in order to show them that the way they do is wrong. I think something like this maybe is a good answer.
Okay. Yeah, I would say to me it's important personally to remember that this is not necessarily the progression in our countries, how everything has evolved. It's not necessarily the fault of the people. It's a few people that lead a country, and of course the people have a power to make more change, but I don't think anybody should feel disappointment. It definitely affects our daily lives. Like it cannot be unnoticed whether we are part, let's say, of the EU or not. So I do think that we are moving very fast in the direction, and I can speak with more conviction with my country, but I'm sure in the other countries as well. It's a metric, a healthy metric. I think it's to remind ourselves that the progression we've made, despite these limitations that we've had, is incredible. I don't know many countries that have progressed in such a speed, and so I think that's only going further and further. And if you know, we take notice of that and we continue doing that, especially individually, because there's not much we can do on that other level, I think we will very soon be in a different kind of discussion, hopefully.
I wouldn't say I'm disappointed, but I would say that I'm really sad because all of my friends and close people moved away from my country, from Macedonia, to have opportunities, job opportunities in Europe. And when I think about this, it's really making me sad that this happened to my country. But on the other hand, I know that we are really progressing fast, and I have hope that soon something will change and new generations are coming. So I somehow have hope.
I actually have a question for you. Yeah. If you see us as presenters of our countries, do you think we belong to European Union or not? Are we good enough? Or are we better?
Definitely better.
But thank you. I mean, this is what's unseen when it comes to connecting countries in union. We see countries, we see governments, we see the bad part, if you ask me. Nobody here likes our governments, I believe. You cannot, yeah. And you don't like it either, I guess. But people who live in those countries are what's important. And if we talk again about Russia and Ukraine, the only important thing are people. And that's who we are. We represent us, ourselves, what we do, what we fight for. And there are so much more people in our countries like us. And I hate that union actually somehow makes a border, like those out of it and those in. And that's something I would like to change. And I mean, it's idealistic, but that's what I live for.
No, it's great. It's great. Really, you actually you as I said, you are well, crossing the borders, and the fact is that, well, we see all this. So maybe, I don't know, another question. There was a second question. Okay.
Hello, I'm Ivan Mijanovic. I'm also a journalist. I come from Montenegro, and I have a few broader questions for you. First one is about, as young representatives who make a difference in your countries, how do you see the potential of young generations in the Western Balkans? How are they engaged to make a difference in their countries, in their region, in order to push things forward? And the second question, how young generation of Western Balkans see Europe when we speak about Europe in terms of European Union, like a distant dream or like a reality? And how is Europe making difference for them? Thank
you. First question was regarding the new generations, and well, in Bosnia and Herzegovina, we were always kind of slow and melancholic, lethargic. It's the right way. And I see kind of that the younger people, younger for me, they're waking up and they are more active. Our biggest problem was inactivity of the people. The people didn't take any active role in their life, and especially in community or whatever. And people now are doing it with much more passion, and people, like young people, they're actually critically thinking about the world around them and saying, okay, this is the problem, let's see how to fix that problem. The generations above us didn't have it, maybe because of the system that was before, they couldn't. And I believe that the future is bright, and that the new generations are going to be more powerful and stronger. Maybe you will have 10 of young Europeans making a difference in a few years from the same countries, but double. And the other question was regarding how do they see Europe? Well, they often see it from the plane or from the bus when they are leaving our countries, and they see it as some kind of oasis of a lot of money and not too much work, but a perfect life. And I'm well aware, because I also have a lot of friends who went from Sarajevo to Germany, to France, to Norway, wherever. It's not that bright. Everybody says it was much better in Bosnia. And really, because when they go to Europe, they learn that in order to achieve something, you must work. And when you work hard, you don't have free time, you know, and you cannot do whatever you want. You work hard, you earn money, and then you just go to sleep. And everybody says, ah, it's much better there. But this is what we need to have, and this is what we need to learn. Work ethics, and, you know, just pushing it all the way. I think that's it.
I mean, to our defense, I was talking in my video profile about like how this has made us resilient, like the limitations and all of this. But to be fair, after a long time, it gets exhausting and incentives are important. So yes, sometimes it feels distant, and people get tired. That is noticeable, which I think is why it's important to give some incentives, either by the EU or by to give some, because it looks sometimes very far for us. It feels very close. I can speak for my country. I think the young people feel European. It's not Europe, like we are European. First of all, let's just put that out there to the obvious. But it's definitely something we all aspire to because of the great values, because values that we share, right? We share all these values. We are so similar, and us standing here in terms of like the question about the youth, we are just representatives in this case. There's millions of us, I would say, people that are so eager, especially the young people, again, considering the limitation, considering our history, we're still like going even further. I would say, yes, that aspects does exist, but I also see the side of people being so eager to prove the obvious that yes, we are worth it. Yes, we are the same. Yes, we can be there. And I feel because of that eagerness, we're able to give sometimes even more. And there's so much to give. Europe is so diverse, and each of us are, you know, have so many cultural richness, and it's worth celebrating. And I think the young people want to celebrate that and want to showcase that and are eager even to put in the work if given a little more incentive. We do life like, for example, living a good life and enjoying life, which is, I think, something good and something that the whole Europe should, aspire to. Life is for the living, for enjoying it. So yes, the youth, I think, has a lot of promise, and it can add a lot of value. And maybe I lost a bit the train. I combined the questions also.
Thank you. Dina, please.
Since, as I said, in my country, a lot of young people already moved out, trying to find better opportunities in Europe. And yes, they see Europe as an oasis, and then when they come and face the reality, it's completely different. And many of them are somehow sad and not really happy, because also they are not home. So they didn't want to leave their home, but they somehow had to do this. And they're not happy because of this, of course. And speaking for my country, I think we're a bit, we kind of feel far away now from Europe, since now we changed the name, and still there are some problems with our neighbors. And I think the youth really is frustrated with this, and we don't feel like this is a problem, actually, that really this could be something that could be resolved.
Well, I think that Europe, the greatest value that European Union gives to everyone of us and to our countries is inspiration. Inspiration to be better, to work on what's bad, and to open all of those. I don't know the name for that thing, but I remember them doing those things, those chapters and things. And like whenever you open a new chapter, there are like a bunch of things you need to do. So your opinion says, do that, do that, do that, and you work. It's like a teacher. Like, to be good, you should do this. And we all need teachers sometimes in life, but there are times where you can teach the teacher. Every student has a good thing to offer. And that's what European Union, I think, understands. That's why European Union wants us all together. For everyone to bring what's good. It doesn't matter if it's financial or if it's like cultural, whichever, however, yeah, but that's what Europe is. Inspiration to all of us to be better and to work on what's not working.
Thank you very much. Well, listening to you, I think it reminds us in EU that EU is not Europe, and Europe is much more larger than EU. So thank you very much to remind us this fact. There is a question maybe.
I didn't really plan to speak, but I felt so inspired by your intervention. My name is Jasna Jelisic. And I will, before I ask my question, just use the opportunity to say that I lead a wonderful team called Western Balkans Task Force within the European External Action Service. People who produced this campaign and who organized this event together with our friends at the Italian Institute. So there is Sanja, Alceo, Osa, Haris, and I would like to thank them for working on this campaign. This is something that we care about a lot. This campaign has been seen by more than 15 million people so far. This is the 4th edition. And with the profiles like this, we hope that it will reach many, many more million people all over the world. We are web streaming this live all over the world via European External Action Service channels. This is also broadcasted via European Union delegations in the Western Balkans. So we hope to move the bar and many, many more million viewers for this campaign. I want to thank also Diego, our dear friend from the European External Action Service, who used to work with us and who hosting us tonight, Francesco and a wonderful team of the Institute. We had a wonderful day today. Also friends from Brussels who came to support us and who know what we are trying to do. And so many of you in so many ways basically summed up what the EU integration process of the Western Balkans is, which is building the European Union in the Western Balkans. And what we do is really like find people who do that every day, building the European Union in the Western Balkans, at the same time inspiring people all over Europe and all over the world doing what you do. And I want to thank you for what you do. And I want to thank you for collaborating with us for this campaign. You gave us your time, your precious time, and time is the most precious resource. So I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really, and also for all of us who joined us tonight, thank you so much. This means a lot to us, this campaign and everything that when we try to communicate the European Union in the Western Balkans and communicate about the Western Balkans in the European Union. So thank you all for support. I have a question. As a former journalist, I cannot go without a question. I am triggered to ask each of you a question. I'm passionate about the European Union. I'm passionate about European integration, foreign relations, communications, and I'm also passionate about fashion. And as many people kind of sometimes talk about. And the thing when I saw, and I will single out just one because you deal with fashion, it touched me profoundly when I saw that somebody thought about people with prosthetic legs and designed fashion for them. Please tell us, I think I have never seen it before, and this is what I look when I travel everywhere in the world. Tell us, how did that come about? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Asna. Well, that's a very important story we started 2 years ago, I think. It started as a startup, and friends of mine, pirate art company, they came up to idea when one of them had a car crash and lost his leg. And he was like, I don't want to live like this. I want my life. I want to improve my life. So yeah, he was the idea. Well, he brought the idea there, but his best friend, who is mechanic, or how would I say it? Yeah, he started developing the solution, and then they gathered us designers and told us, we want to be cool, we want to be fashionable, we want to be included, we want to be like others, and how can you help us? So we started thinking about it, and we came up to the idea of that completely new piece of clothing. Nobody made it before. We haven't seen it anywhere in the world, and we created it from scratch. So when we made that product, we tried to put it everywhere around, and I'm glad it came here through me. I'm just a part of that team, and I won't take all of the credits, but I'm glad this story is heard here now. So I felt that that was the most important project I did in my career, and I did a lot of interesting and important things, I guess, but this one was different because it actually had the meaning that moves every one of us. And I took as an inspiration first African samurai. I don't know if you heard about him, Yasuke. He lived in the 16th century, and he was from Africa. Somehow, with some probably through some ship or somehow, he came to Japan, and he was accepted immediately, even if they never seen a black man before. And that's what we are doing right now. We are accepting everyone, doesn't matter how different they are and how they struggle with being different. That's what inclusion is, actually, including everyone. It doesn't matter who they are, who they come, where they come from, what they do, how they walk, how they talk, whatever. We are all together in this, and we should always be together. Those are borders we need to tear down. So.
Are there any other question here in the audience? Yes.
Does it work? Yes. This is not a question. This is just a very short testimony. I've never doubted that anybody beyond the Iron Curtain or beyond Schengen or beyond anything was anything but European. Never doubted that. And I think there are many of us who believe that. We know there are borders. We know it's extremely difficult for you to get visas, queues, etc., etc. And we know it's most of these countries which do not belong to the European Union, the countries you are in, have a vibrant energy from most young people. I happen to have lived in Pristina quite a lot. I translate from Albanian. And I know about the vibrant nightlife they have there, among other things. And I'm sure it's not the only place where there are things like that. And I can understand at the same time, being from another generation and having known about ex-Yugoslavia and Yugoslavia, etc., and all the things that happened in between then and now, which we have only spoken about. And I know it's very, you're extremely young, full of energy, and I can imagine that it's hard for you to be limited by all these borders and this impossibility. And I just do hope, and I try in my votes at least, and perhaps in some things I do in literature and translation, I do hope that our governments will hear basic common sense things and open up the rest of Europe would open up to the rest of Europe, wherever the border of Europe is afterwards. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you want to react
it sounds really nice, and thank you for the words you said. And thank you really much.
Thank you. Okay, is there any other question? So, no or not? So, okay, so, well, I think, thank you very much for your work. Thank you for your energy. Thank you thank you to bring all this good move and this good energy here. And well, thank you all and see you. Thank you.